You are at Lake Rant, where I rant about whatever my $15 a month plus patrons want me to rant about. You can get one of these by being one of those. This one's for Autistic Bidan, who says, please rant about Turn A Gundam. I recently rewatched it, and it has become my favorite Gundam and one of my favorite anime. I consider it one of Tomino's best works. Unfortunately, it's one of the most unpopular shows in the Gundam franchise, mostly because of its mech design. What are your thoughts on the robots and the show in general? Is it really? I mean, I know it's not like the most popular, but it seems to be very beloved. Like, Gundam fans tend to like Turn A. At least the when I came up in the anime blogosphere community, people were very into that show. Partly because it has such a unique setting and concept. It takes place like well into the future of the rest of the Gundam shows, after essentially like a post-apocalyptic shift where society has not recovered all the way back to the technology that they had before. But when the people who had like left Earth come back, it creates a conflict between the people who are still on Earth and the people who had left. And the people on Earth are starting to discover the older technology and use it. And it's a very chaotic scenario, which is Tomino's thing. Like, if I had to characterize what is Yoshiyuki Tomino's directing style, it is to create as much chaos as possible, and to have characters constantly misunderstanding each other, or fucking doing the wrong thing, essentially making more chaos and causing conflict to continue perpetuating itself. And Turn A Gundam has a lot of that, especially on the interpersonal level. There are also like annoying elements to the show. There are some characters who are just straight obnoxious, and it goes in a lot of weird directions. I never finished it. I made it 30-something episodes in. Not that I dropped it or anything. I don't finish things. But, the mega design is one of the best things about the show. The fucking mustached Gundam, which I thought everybody loved. I mean, it's a Gundam with a fucking mustache. It's hilarious. And it's also the Gundam with the most, like, personality, where it seems to be, like, semi-sentient, and it's used for lots of things besides fighting. Like, the characters find lots of ways to use it for, for other purposes, which is another thing that's a Tomino specialty, is just, like, finding every unique portrayal of, like, the technology in his shows and stuff. And, yeah, it's, like, it's very well made. The animation and artwork is fantastic. It's in spite of the fact that it captures Tomino's general insanity, it's not nearly as off the fucking rails as like some of the stuff he did before or after it in the late 90s and early 2000s. So it probably holds up the best of like that late era Tomino anime. I don't know, it seems to me like people generally really like the show anytime they watch it. It's got a Yoko Kanno soundtrack, which is fucking great. Really memorable OP that is hilarious. I definitely think it's a really solid show. I'd love to finally finish it one day. I'd have to start from the beginning again, because I don't remember most of what happened. It's also got one of the more fun, I would say, protagonists of a Gundam show. Not that he's necessarily one of the more compelling, but just a character who's very watchable and likable. And a lot of the supporting cast is pretty memorable. It kind of does the Gundam thing of basically having a character who just is Char, and like, a lot of stuff that's just pulled from the older shows. But it does that better and more effectively, and it's like Tomino himself doing it, so it's not just like somebody ripping off his playbook, essentially. I don't know. I think people should check it out if you like robots. And also, it's one of the rare Gundams that you really don't need to have seen anything else to watch. You could watch it totally standalone, and it functions just as well. So, go give it a go.